runoff, depending on what they use for cover material. And it's not crystal blue, you know, like a lake. So a lot of people think that it's leachate in there. It's not. It's stormwater.
It's just the stormwater.
Yes. So you'll see on the left.
So the stormwater, where does this water go then?
It actually works its way. You'll see it from the top when we get up there, but it works its way west to our collection ponds.
Okay, you have a collection
Yes,
pond.
we have
okay.
2 huge collection ponds.
Oh yeah, these black things, they are the tires.
Yeah,
the
those
weights.
are the tires that are
Okay,
helping hold that down.
holding that road down. Wow.
Yeah, and the reason being, if that liner gets a little hole in it and the wind gets under it, it'll
Yeah.
just pick it up and take
Yeah.
it away.
Yes.
Now to our left, this
So
is
many
another
tires.
form of HDPE.
Painted
It's
tire.
green, not black,
We
but
have
it's the
a lot of
same
tire there.
HDPE.
Okay.
It's 40 mil. This is 40 mil. It's a little bit thinner than what you would put on the bottom.
Okay.
So you can see our gas wells here. The dividing line between phase 1 and phase 2 is that ditch down where we started. Phase 1 actually has a single liner system with a leachate system. Phase 2 has the double liner system because they changed the regulations again. They changed the regulations again and said, no, now you need a detection layer. You remember I was telling you about that lower layer to tell us whether or not you're leaking?
Okay.
So that's the difference between phase 1 and phase 2. This hill started in 2000 to 2007.
Okay.
So this whole area, phase 1 and 2, which is comprised of 90 acres, it only took 7 years to build.
Wow.
That's
how much waste we
That's
make.
how much waste we make.
And that's only one county.
And that's one county.
Only one
That's
county.
126,000 residents.
Yeah.
And you see how ununiform the slope is now?
Yeah.
Well, when we built it, it was very uniform.
Yeah, now it's
It was
gradually
a 3 to 1. Now it's settling, and
settling.
that's why you would never put a building. We're not allowed to build.
On
Put
these
buildings
landfills.
on these landfills because they settle, and you can't have anything that you need to be structurally sound. It will never be structurally sound. Over to our left here, this is
that's
one
a
of our collection ponds here.
ponds.
Right. And we also have a collection pond on the south side. We're actually facing west. That's south. We have a collection pond on the other side of that landfill over there, and this eventually all goes to Saddle Creek.
Okay.
So we have collection. We have detention areas where the water is able to sit there and percolate through because it's a detention area to hold that water back. And then of course it'll go to the collection pond, and then from there, if it gets too high, it'll overflow and get to the to Saddle Creek. But we have to monitor that water. We have to test the water to make sure that we're not polluting the water. And we have to notify whenever we have our water. Let's say we have a 100-year storm and our ponds are just flooded, and it spills over into the weir and then goes into Saddle Creek. We have to notify DEP so that make sure we test that water. Make sure there's
Now I can see that they are the soil is there.
That's mulch.
Mulch. Okay, that's the mulch.
That's the mulch. They take the wood, grind it into small chips so that it's easier to burn.
So this whole thing is
That's all
mulching.
Wheelabrator.
Okay.
That's Wheelabrator. You see the tires over there? So they haven't got the tires in a while, it looks like. Oh, they have. They've got the whole tires.
Yes, I can see those little tires there.
Let me know what the best thing is. I can't tell. Can everybody see everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see everything.
I saw this thing coming out from when I take the 570 book, but I never knew that this is what was going on there.
Yeah. So that's steam coming out of the cooler, coolers,
Mm-hmm.
is they have to, and what they run through those coolers to keep it cool is gray water. So the leachate water, it gets cleaned up. It's not good enough for drinking, but it's good enough to cool down their radiators.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's great, okay.
Yeah, so they reuse
So they
that
just
water.
reuse that water to
Yeah.
cool down that thing.
Correct.
Mhm.
And they also have a little collection pond over there as well that they
Okay.
may use. But they go through a lot of water because those swimming pools. Just picture a huge radiator, and it's just water cooling it down. So they take our
So
methane about 1,400 cubic feet a minute. Methane,
Okay.
and it gets piped. Everything, well, most of it is above ground, but the main header is actually on the north side, and it runs across the ditch straight over to their plant. Now, for some reason, if the plant goes down, they have a backup flare,
Okay.
so that we can still
Get
create a
the-
vacuum on this hill because we have certain requirements.
Okay.
You have to have the gas system running at all times.
Now, so your facility over here is getting pretty much your own electricity, right? That you're making here?
Actually, no, they
No.
sell it to Duke.
They sell it to Duke.
They sell
okay.
it to Duke
Okay.
Energy. We're
So
not
they make it.
self-sufficient because
tanker.
they own and operate the gas system.
Okay.
We don't make any revenue from what they
electricity.
make.
Okay.
Yes.
They sell it to Duke, and the Duke sells us to sell it to us.
Correct. So we're heading due east.
Okay.
Sometimes on a good day we can see Bach Tower, and I'm pretty sure. Let me see when we get to it. Point it out to you. Okay. You see the orange cone right here?
Yeah.
Look straight through it, and you see that. You see that mound, that hill,
Yeah.
way off in the distance,
Mm-hmm.
with that building sticking up.
Yes, yeah.
It's way out. Kind of looks gray. Everything looks gray. I believe that's Bach Tower.
Okay.
We're actually at elevation 250.
Okay.
We're sitting at elevation
250.
And this was a landfill, right? That we
This
are-
is we're driving on garbage.
on garbage.
Yes, this
yeah.
is all landfill.
Landfills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're 130 feet high. Our base elevation is roughly 110. We're only allowed by ordinance, by county ordinance, to fill 130 feet, which makes it 240. Our
This
elevation
mountain are
240.
full
Yeah.
of garbages.
Yeah, this
Because
are,
the
we're on
second
top of
town.
garbages.
Yeah.
I was driving by and wonder what's this.
That's the 570 highway, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's
Yeah.
570.
Yeah.
And our landfill, we own, let me think about this. Here's the road. Okay, you see that building way out past the second pond?
Yeah.
We own, basically to that building, we own 2,200 acres. This whole
200.
facility is 2,200 acres. And currently we've developed on about 200 acres. Our site life is about another 70 years. We've got about 70 years of site life.
So once the site is filled, then you need to find a new
Correct.
site.
Correct. Typically
After
about
70
10,
years.
yeah. Typically about 10 years before you know you're going to be full to capacity, you want to start looking
For
for
new
land.
place, yeah.
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 So that's why, site life is very valuable. Airspace is very valuable. That's why this is temporarily lined, because we know it's going to settle, and we know we can put more garbage in. Eventually, those closed cells there will eventually put more garbage there. But before we do, we have to put a liner in between the old and the new, and then we can build that up to 130, and eventually we'll have one huge square of landfill.
There's a highway. I think it is 540 highway. It looks like it was built on a landfill. Is it? Because the way that the highway is on the top of the hill, it's just
So
an eye.
walks.
It's just no.
So
No,
eagles.
you would never
They are
have,
eagles.
build
Yeah,
on-
eagles.
on a landfill.
On a landfill,
Not,
okay.
yeah, no, because
So
it's
it must be a
settled.
natural mound.
It's, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, they could have made the mound, they could have,
Okay, they could have made.
yeah,
the
it
mound.
could be man-made, but it's certainly not
No,
garbage.
no.
Yeah.
What is this place likely to be used for in future?
That hasn't been determined yet. The most typical use is a park.
Oh,
Yes,
see,
that's
see.
what I heard.
Yeah,
Usually
like
they use
a-
the
like a-
landfill for
A
parks.
sanctuary, you know, we have quite a bit of wetlands here,
Yeah.
you know, so, we'll have a natural bird habitat and that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So probably like the Circle B would be a type of sanctuary.
It's like the
But
nest.
definitely
I'm
not
just
the
assuming.
housing
This-
complex.
This garbage?
No.
This garbage is like
There
the
was a
nest.
big
Yeah.
issue
This garbage car.
somewhere up north where they made their houses in the garbage.
Yeah.
And it just happened like in 1970s.
Yes.
And then suddenly the kids started falling sick.
Uh-huh.
And they found out that it was the houses were built on the garbage
Uh-huh.
landfills which was used at that time, and I'm sure technology was
Contamination, right.
contamination
Everything,
was
yeah.
actually causing all of that problem because they were getting the water from the same landfill area.
Correct. Yeah, they were getting their groundwater from the landfill that had no leachy.
No
collection
leachy, yeah,
system,
all
no
of these
liner,
systems
so
were
they're
not
drinking
there.
contaminated water.
Mm-hmm.
And, also we have, as I was mentioning, I mean, now that you brought that up, there's been cases where if you're too close to a landfill and you don't have a gas collection system,
It's
if that
gonna catch
methane,
fire.
if that methane reaches a certain percent,
Uh-huh.
between 5% and 15%, that methane is actually explosive.
Yeah.
So you light a match and you've got that right mixture,
Yes.
you're gonna,
Oh, wow.
there goes your house, and it has happened.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they realize there's a certain mixture,
Mhm.
because it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that you find out in technology is because something happened.
Yes, yes, that is true.
So that's why
So that gas needs to come out,
That-
and that
it's-
needs to be used up for something.
it's gonna come out. It's
Yeah.
gonna come out one way or the other.
One way or
and-
the other, yes.
And either you can choose to, you have to take care of it. You can either choose to send it to a facility that can make electricity,
Mm-hmm.
or flare it. But you need to pull it out of the landfill.
Mhm.
And to prove that we're pulling it out at a sufficient rate, every quarter we have to monitor the surface. We have to walk the whole surface of the landfill
Mm-hmm.
with
So how many times people come in and check these valves?
at least once a month.
Once a month.
Wheel
okay.
Liberator takes care of this. I take care of phase 3. At least once a month to monitor the wells.
Mm-hmm.
Every quarter to do the surface scan, which measures the methane that may be coming out of the surface
Mm-hmm.
of the landfill, and we have a certain criteria of 500 parts per million. We cannot exceed 500 parts per million, which isn't a lot
Mm-hmm.
at all. And that gets reported to the state. And also, we also have monitoring probes. You'll see a couple as we drive back that I have to measure quarterly
Okay.
to prove that we don't have any off-site gas migration.
Oh, okay.
They're at the property line
Mm-hmm.
and they're spaced accordingly. And in fact, that's what I'm doing today, is going around and measuring those today. And I need to prove to the state that we don't have any off-site gas migration either.
And if that happens, then you
If
will
that
have to.
happens, we have to remediate. We have to figure out where it's coming from.
Okay. And then put
First
one
we
of
have to
these
notify,
pipes.
yeah, first we have to notify, we have 7 days. We have to notify them within 24 hours. We have 7 days to come up with a plan
Mhm.
of what we're gonna do and to take care of it.
Yeah, because that can cause fire in these areas, you know.
Well, it won't necessarily cause a fire unless there's
It
a
is.
spark.
Well, yeah.